This episode of Inside Louisiana Athletics is brought to you by Park Place Surgical Hospital. Hi, I'm Marcel Johnson. Tonight on Inside Louisiana Athletics, a weekend full of wins for our Louisiana sports, as our Darren Walker sits down with GERRY GLASCO to discuss the weekend sweep of Memphis and look towards starting Sun Belt Conference play. And later, baseball's head coach Matt DEGGS talks about home series against Houston Baptist and looks ahead to their trip to Hattiesburg. But first, Director of Basketball Operations Mike Murphy is here to recap the men's basketball postseason. You're watching Inside Louisiana Athletics.
Hello and welcome to Inside Louisiana Athletics. The Ragin Cajuns men's basketball season came to an end on Sunday night in the semifinals of the Sun Belt Conference tournament as they fell to Georgia State. Here now to talk about an unprecedented season and that tournament is the Director of Basketball Operations, Mike Murphy. Welcome back to the show. If you'll indulge me for just a second, a bit of a recap of the season. You guys finished 17-9, second in the West. And really a year unlike any other. I mean, you open against the number one team in the country, then you go on a 7-game win streak at the beginning of the year. You beat the regular season champs 3 out of 4 times you played them this year. You had all this COVID drama, Coach Marlin, out for a little bit. You only played teams from the West, and you had to do that twice in a 24-hour period. So with all that being said, all that taken into consideration, just give me your thoughts on how you think the season went for you guys as a program.
Well, considering the challenges we had to face on a daily basis, I thought the club, through Coach Marlin's direction and structure, gave ourselves the best chance for success. Nobody could plan for what was happening, but when you look at the process that Coach put in place, along with our medical staff and the players themselves, trying to stay as safe as they possibly could during the season, I thought everybody had their oar in the water, so to speak, rowing in the same direction, trying to have a season, because you just didn't know from a week-to-week, game-to-game basis if you were going to play. And the uncertainty certainly made things challenging, but I thought that the process and the structure that Coach Marlin and staff put in place, along with the athletes buying in, along with the hard work of our medical staff, we were able to get through a season, like you said, like no other. And I'll add to one other thing. We beat Louisiana Tech here in the Dome, and Tech is going to win Conference USA or finish in the top 2. So another significant win during the non-conference, going with those 7 other wins.
Let's talk about the tournament for a little bit. So you beat South Alabama in the quarterfinals. I was watching the game and literally taking notes on what was happening. And at one point, I just scrapped it all because there were so many contributors. I mean, every couple of minutes, a new guy was making a play. You guys go on a 30-5 run in the second half, and you win it by 11.
3 players score a double-double. That's really hard to do. It's hard to get 1, let alone 2. We had 3.
Right.
And if you're going to win a tournament game, that's what you have to have, that type of balance. Certain guys have to have career highs. And we had that. We had great balance. We had great structure, great enthusiasm, down early in the first half by 12, 13 points. And then we come back in the second half. And once we took the lead, we just continued to roll. But once again, you got to give a lot of the credit has to go to the players for sticking with the game plan. The coaches put together a great game plan for South Alabama, who had a premier player in Flowers, the guard, who is probably going to be the league MVP and one of the best shooters in the country. We really took him out of the game, which is hard to do. In the previous night's game, Flowers had more points in the second half than the entire ULM basketball team. That's the type of talent he is. And we kept him in check. We contained him. You're not going to hold him scoreless, but we contained him. But with the 3 players having a double-double, it was truly unique in how we won that basketball game. Also considering the fact that Cedric Russell, as a leader, you would think he would take more shots, get more shot attempts, but he was a willing passer. He was a willing facilitator, and that's why guys like Theo and Malik and Dew were able to have those double-doubles from 3 guys. A triple double-double, if you will, with our basketball team.
Just coined a new term.
A triple double-double. Yeah. There you go. We'll go with that one.
So on to the semis. You play in Georgia State. They jump out to a 19-point lead at one point. It was 17 at the half, but then you guys come out in the first 12, 13 minutes and go on a 34-17 run to tie things up at 69. Unfortunately, they outscored you guys the rest of the way 15-4, I believe it was. But just, you talked about a little while ago in that first game, just having that mental toughness to put everything aside and stick to the game plan and really just turn things around. And what a hill to climb just to get that thing back tied up at 69.
It was a hill indeed. And I thought the players showed a great deal of class and character. In the second half, you're down by 17. Georgia State's hit you pretty hard in the head, and you've got to come back, and our guys did. The staff stayed this course with the game plan, and the players worked their tail off to get back in the game. And we tied the game with something like 8 minutes to go. So in a 12-minute span, we made up a 17-point deficit to a team that's very balanced. Give a lot of credit to Georgia State. They're a good basketball team. They were the preseason #1. I think top to bottom, they probably have the most depth and balance of any team in the league. But they can put 3 or 4 shooters on the floor at one time. All their guards are basically the same in terms of skill set. So for us to come back in the second half the way we did, as quickly as we did, I really think shows a lot about the class of this team and the preparation that Coach Marlin and the staff put into the game. Having said that, in the last 7 minutes, we only scored 1 basket. Now, South Alabama only scored 2. The difference was the free throw line. They shot 30, we shot 10. I'll let you make your own judgment on that. But we couldn't get to the free throw line, and that's where the game really was won or lost, especially late in the game. When the clock winds down, you run out of possessions, and that's what happened.
Right. Let's talk about the future, the off season. It's going to be a little bit unusual still because you got 2 seniors, Cedric and Dew, who have the opportunity to come back. I know that, those are discussions that they're going to have with their families and do some soul searching before they do that. But you have that to look forward to, which is, again, unusual.
It is unusual, and this is something that is going to happen throughout the entire offseason for all of college basketball. Everybody gets their year back, and it's going to be interesting to see what certain players do under certain circumstances. We would love to have those 2 young men back. They're great for our basketball team. They're good members of our community. They both are generally nice guys to be around, and you love having guys like that in your program. And they're also very skilled and can help us win basketball games. But as you said, this is a decision that they're going to have to make with their families, and we'll support them whatever they decide to do. But certainly we would love to have those 2 young men back in our program for next year.
And real quick, let's talk about the exciting potential of guys who are coming back. So much promise on the roster. Akuba, Malik, Kobe, AU, young guys like Harper, Richards, Devin Butts. You guys have got to be excited about having those guys back.
We are, and it was super special to have Kobe Julian back on the floor. He's basically played before this conference tournament, played in 6 games in 2 years because of knee surgeries. And you saw some of the brilliance. You saw some of the potential in our first-round matchup against South Alabama. He was attacking the rim. He was aggressive. He was blocking shots. And he was a big part of that victory, having not played for such a long time. So I think having Kobe back at 100% will be a big benefit to this basketball team. He's a very versatile player. He can play the 4, he can play the 3, he can shoot the 3, he can rebound, he can post up. He's got a lot of tools in his tool chest to work with. And then Dury Cadwell is a young man that came to the program with a great deal of upside. He's 6'3", 6'3.5". He's long, he's athletic. He can play a multitude of positions on the defensive end. We think he can shoot the ball well enough from the offensive end to really stretch defenses. So we're looking forward to having him in the program for the first time. So there's a lot of promise coming back. We'll start working on next season literally tomorrow. And we can't wait for, November 6th or 9th, whatever the first day is, to get here to start the new season.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you and congratulations to you guys on a fine season. And also thank you to Coach Marlin and Coach Brock Morris for filling in, Coach Morris for filling in this year when Coach Marlin was out. And of course, we congratulate the staff and players on a fine season.
Louisiana used a quick offensive start in the first quarter in double-digit scoring performances from Jamariah Mathis and Brandy Williams to run past South Alabama 65-46 during the Sun Belt Conference Tournament quarterfinals on Saturday afternoon. Mathis came through in a big way off the bench, scoring a game-high 17 points and pulling down 7 rebounds, while Williams scored 14 points behind a 4-for-6 shooting performance from long range. Sunday during the Sun Belt Conference Tournament semifinals, junior Brandy Williams paced the offense with a game-high 16 points, 13 of which came in the second half, a team-high 3 assists and 3 rebounds. Williams also went 6 for 6 from the free throw line, helping the team finish the game 14 for 14 from the charity stripe. Jamariah Mathis scored in double figures for the second consecutive game with 11 points, while Skylar Goodwin came on in the second half and contributed 7 of her 9 points and 4 rebounds. On Monday, Louisiana gave Troy all it can handle for 4 quarters in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament Championship game. But the Ragin Cajuns' valiant effort came up short as the Trojans won the tournament title with a 73-65 victory. 4 of the team's starters scored in double figures during the contest, with senior Skylar Goodwin leading the way with 14 points and 10 rebounds, her first double-double of the season.
It means a lot because it's the first time for the program, It's the first time that we win conference. And it's our 50th year anniversary for our program. And so for us to qualify for we've never been asked we played preseason WNIT. So this is the first time in the history of the program in 50 years to win the conference and then to go to the WNIT. It would have been nice. We already went to the NCAA tournament in 2005. So, it would have been nice to go again, but so it's a first for us, and hopefully it's not a last.
Next on Inside Louisiana Athletics, Darren Walker sits down with baseball's head coach Matt DEGGS and look ahead to their trip to Hattiesburg to take on Southern Miss.
This has got the steak and the sizzle.
The tots on this are just crispy and they're flavorful.
This will keep you out of my tots.
Sonic Extra Long Ultimate Cheesesteaks. Yeah, this might keep me out of your tots.
We all have dreams.
I want to dance. I like to build things. I want to explore.
For over 120 years, the University of Louisiana at Lafayette has made it possible for young dreams to become realities. So go ahead, dream big. We'll help you make those dreams come true.
How is yours? Because you got the spicy cheesesteak.
A little fire.
A little fire.
And desire.
Oh, I don't know about all that. Sonic Extra Long Ultimate Cheesesteaks. You're taking it too far. I know it's date day and all.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Athletics, an up and down week for the Ragin Cajuns baseball team, going 3-2 to take them to 9-4 on the young season. Here now to talk about that and an upcoming week is the head coach, Matt DEGGS. So let's talk about your starting pitching, first of all, because you had some competitive games throughout the week. But the constant, not only this week, but the entire season, is your starting pitching. You're getting some good efforts out there.
Yeah, it was a great week by our starters. They when you look at it and break it down, we had Cookie go out and go 5 against Tech, 1 earned run. I think Perrin goes 5 against McNeese, and the only reason he went 5 there was pitch count, and he could have gone the whole way, but he just hasn't been in that territory yet as far as pitch count. Coming off a busted lat last year, you want to be a little bit careful. So he goes 5 no earned runs. We come out on Friday, and well, I'm going to call it Friday. It's a doubleheader Saturday, first game. Durkee goes 6 2/3, so he's right there at 7 at 1 earned, and then Eric Getty 7, none. And then we come out yesterday and it's 7 at 3. And doing all of that, and still, I think we were 3-1 strikeout to walks from our starters, and so that's as good as it gets from the starting side of things, and that's what you want, especially offensively, is a group of guys that give you a chance to score and figure it out at the plate. And then our bullpen was pretty good as well. So I think the starters pitched at like a 1.7 for the week. Bullpen's a 3.9, and they're almost 3-1 strikeouts to walks, fewer hits than innings pitched. So pitching is definitely trending upward and starting to look like that staff that we know that we have.
So you split with McNeese and Louisiana Tech last week, 1-1. Then you go to Houston Baptist this weekend, and in game 1, you win that one 5-2. Catalano with a home run to put you up 3-0 early. That was his first hit as a Ragin Cajun. Not a bad way to get his career started here. HBU cuts that lead to 3-2, but Rockefort with his first home run of the season in the 5th. 2 batters later, Fitzgerald adds a solo home run. He's swinging the bat well. And like you mentioned, Dirk and then Talley came in and really closed the door on him to get the win.
Yeah, Saturday was what I call suffocating for our opponent. It's hard to get any momentum against our pitching, and then we're lengthening the field and hitting home runs and stealing bases and doing a pretty good job defensively, and it starts to get frustrating for your opponent. And that's what frustrated us yesterday, in the third game of that, to not finish and take care of business there.
Game 2, you didn't waste much time in this one, jumped on the Huskies early. Ben Fitzgerald, an RBI double in the first to take a 1-0 lead. Connor Kemple with a blast to dead center in the 6th inning. And like you mentioned earlier, Arrighetti, outstanding again, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, and you win it 4-1.
Crazy enough, and that's probably his toughest outing so far, which is hard to say, but that's how good he's been. And obviously, he gave us a chance to. Hey, they ran a good starter out at us, and so Arrighetti gave us a chance. Bullpen did a great job, and it was a good sweep on the day. And like I said again, good teams take 2 out of 3. Great ones sweep, and we're still working to get better and improve in every area.
They ran a pretty good one at you again on Sunday. Things started a little bit on the messy side. HBU took a 3-0 lead, but you battled back late in the innings to tie the game at 4 and then send it into extra innings. But 2 RBI doubles give the Huskies a 6-4 win. Now, going back to the 9th inning, you had a couple of base running miscues. And like Coach Marlin says all the time, if you have a bad day at the free throw line, people kind of magnify that situation. So
certainly
those base running errors didn't really cost you. That wasn't the reason you lost the game, but big moments, no doubt.
It's always a sum of the parts, right? And so the start we got off to was not good, but we have the capability and the offensive firepower to cover that up. And we didn't have a great approach going. We pressed, and the longer the day went, the harder we swung and the more we came off the ball. But still, because of our resiliency and toughness and competitive makeup, we were right there in the 9th to walk it off. And a couple of mental mistakes on the bases. We are an aggressive base running team, and the first one's a 3-2 automatic steal run and hit where you cannot get picked off. You've got to treat it like a hit and run. See the pitcher go to the plate. We get a little too jumpy, so our aggression cost us there. And then the last one's a ball and dirt read, which we have no reason to read right there. The winning run's at second. And once again, our kids being aggressive, sliding through the bag. So our style of game, we're a team that can be very, very exciting and make you go wow. And we can also be a team that can make you scratch your head.
Right.
And it's part of the learning curve. But when it all comes together, it's fun to watch.
We talk about home runs, batting averages. We talk about the pitching numbers all the time. Defensively, though, 19 errors on the season. I know you want to see that number come down, obviously, but you've turned 11 double plays, and we've seen some pretty nice web gems over the last couple of weeks. So talk about what you think of your defense so far.
Well, like I said, we're very athletic, and so we're going to make some plays that are like, that was amazing. We're also going to make, some errors that are silly at times. The ball that Bobby got to in the 9th yesterday, where he ranges across the middle and it starts their inning, which eventually is the winning runs. A lot of guys don't even get to that ball.
Right.
And so it's a double-edged sword, and it's a play that most definitely we should make. But I think we're very athletic. We've got interchangeable parts, and the kids love to work. And so I'm encouraged by that and encouraged by the fact that I continue to watch us get better and better. Now, some of our stuff is silly. If the ball goes in the air, it's got to be caught. We've got to understand the wind and the sun. And so all of that I look at as positives because those things are within our control.
Big week on deck for the Ragin Cajuns baseball team. You go to Mississippi State on Wednesday. They're number 2 in the country. And then 3 games in Hattiesburg to face Southern Miss. Talk about what you're expecting out of this week.
It's a great opportunity. And it's a great opportunity to go on the road and face a top 5 team in Mississippi State, face a top 25, top 50 team on the road in Southern Miss. Both extremely well coached, both have really good players. And so we're going to have our work cut out for us. But we are more than capable. and excited about the opportunity and the challenge.
All right, Coach. Thanks for the time. Best of luck this week. Cajuns and Dogs on SEC Plus on Wednesday, and then you can catch the Cajuns in Hattiesburg against Southern Miss on CUSA TV.
Next on Inside Louisiana Athletics, Darren Walker sits down with softball's head coach GERRY GLASCO to discuss their sweep in Memphis and look towards starting Sun Belt Conference play.
I mean, we could have.
I know where you're going. No, we couldn't have.
You're right. I was going to say we could have got one and shared, but that's not
wasn't
true.
gonna work.
Sonic Extra Long Ultimate Cheesesteaks. That wouldn't work.
If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, then your feet will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, manger. If you're happy and you know it, manger. If you're happy and you know it, nothing God will help you show it. If you're happy and you know it, manger.
Like I would go with the signature strawberry limeade, add in cranberry. It'll give you that kick, like right there in the back.
Sonic Ultimate Drink Stop.
This muscle right here.
Might be a little tart for me.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Athletics. The Louisiana Ragin Cajuns softball team went 4-1 this week after a weekend sweep of Memphis. Here now to talk about that and a lot more is the head coach, GERRY GLASCO. So, Coach, you're 13-4 now as you head to Sun Belt Conference play. Of course, you'd be a lot happier if the loss number was a little bit lower, of course. But what you saw from your team this weekend in Memphis, it seems like things are starting to kind of trend in the right direction now.
Yeah, I hope so. And we feel like we're in a better place than we were. You know, our pitching's been good. Our defense has been pretty good. And the offense has been inconsistent, but very good at times. So I think if we can find more consistency on the offensive side, that'll, of course, make up any mistakes you make on the defensive side. So I feel like we're in a better place, and I think we finally, you know, kind of developed a little bit of chemistry together. There's been so much changes with the lineup due to different things, but you know, slowly and surely, I think we're finding the right pieces to put together and having good results to show for it.
You take on McNeese last Wednesday, another tough battle with the Cowgirls, as always. They had a 4-1 lead after 3 innings, and that score would hold up until the 6th. But you put together a nice little two-out rally there, a double-double single, and then Justice Mills with a 3-run home run to give you the 5-4 lead and the win.
Yeah, big piece there. Dalton led off with a double right off the very top of the wall, and we're probably lucky it didn't go out because then it left a base runner out there for the pitcher to worry about, and Justice Mills got a great hit there to give us the lead in that game, and that was a big moment for our ball club, I think, to step up like that and really snatch a victory right out of almost the jaws of defeat, huh?
Right. 24 hours later, Baylor comes to town. The Bears win at 8-1. Mostly just a forgettable night. Not much seemed to go your way.
Yeah, that was one of those games that you always look back and you wonder what happened. You know, we give up too many leadoff hits and then 2-out hits. I think 5 out of the first 6 innings the leadoff batter got on, and 2 outs. They hit the ball really well all night. With 2 outs, we couldn't close them out, and then we just never got in the game offensively once we got behind. So it was just a poorly played game on our part, and one that we're going to have to learn a lot from.
You get to the weekend to take on Memphis, and in game 1, you win at 7-2. Carly Heath with a home run. That was part of a 4-run 4th inning. Jenna Keene with a 3-run home run in the 7th. And you mentioned the pitching, Kendra Lamb, 6 1/3 inning, only gives up 2 runs and strikes out 10. Great performance by her.
Yeah, Kendra's been very, very good for us all year, and I think that was the key to the weekend. We saw some things. We got Jenna Keene back in the lineup, and she's coming off injury, come out right off the bat. It was something she doesn't that's not what she's known for. She's known for her speed and getting on base, but that was a big moment for she hit that home run, and then we saw the emergence of Frankie Izzard in the lineup. You know, a junior college All-American has come in here and worked really, really hard, and she stepped in that lineup, went 3 for 8 this weekend, and then got on base 3 more times by pitches and walks. And you know, when you get 545 on base percentage out of someone down there at the bottom of the order, and then her speed that she brings, and then she brings a very powerful arm. She's a very good defensive outfielder. So it really, that made our ball club a different level of ball club, I think, those 2 kids.
Yeah, Jenna also had 2 RBIs in Sundays when she's really starting to get the bat going. In game 2, you jump on the Tigers in the first, Carly Heath with a 2-run double, and you mentioned Izzard with a 3-run homer. That's production and power, really, that you're getting from unlikely sources.
Yeah, those are, you know, 3 kids that weren't even playing on the opening weekend, and so we're getting them mixed in now, and what we're doing, we injuries made us thin and lowered our roster numbers, and now with experience, we're getting people mixed back in as the season goes, and we're starting to develop a little bit of depth.
4 pitchers combined for the 3-hit shutout. You win at 9-0 in 5 innings. And game 3, you're tied at 1 in the 3rd. You really explode there early on to take a big lead. Things got interesting, though, late in the game, but you hold on to win it 11-7, and you come away with the sweep, and you leave Memphis, Tennessee, really feeling good about yourselves.
Yeah, you know, we let that game, we kind of lost our focus. There's no doubt about what happened. We had, I think, 11-3 lead, and we started walking people, and you can't walk people with a big lead. And then, you know, we ended up having to bring Kendra Lamb back in the game, which I thought was really good. She come back in with 11-7 and bases loaded, and one of their hottest hitters at the plate, and struck her out, went right at her. So I thought that was a really good growing moment for Kendra, and made a statement about who she is. But that's the first time all year I've been really disappointed in the bullpen, and so that's not bad either when you played, 16, 17 games, and you finally had a weak moment out of your bullpen. So we'll take it with a grain of salt. We just have to be careful we don't let that happen again.
Right. No midweek games this week. A little bit of extra time to rest or to practice. How do you approach it?
We're resting today, and then we'll practice hard the rest of the week. We got a lot to work on. We kind of behind in our team building because of the injuries and different aspects of our game, and we're trying to become more of one unit. And so this is really good. I think that's what we needed. I think we played a lot of games in a short period. So I think the practice days will be really good for this ball club.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time. Best of luck this weekend. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. A doubleheader as conference play begins with Georgia Southern on Saturday and a single game on Sunday. And we'll have Coach back to talk about all of it.
All you got to do is dish a drink, and your taste buds.
Sounds like happiness. So many feels. All the feels.
You do the shimmy when it meets expectations, and the head nod is I'm perfectly satisfied.
Sonic Ultimate Drink Stop. Like I would go with the signature strawberry limeade, add in cranberry. It'll give you that kick, like right there in the back.
Sonic Ultimate Drink Stop.
This muscle right here.
That might be a little tart for me.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Inside Louisiana Athletics. Be sure to catch us next week for more Louisiana Ragin Cajuns coverage. Go Cajuns.